Hey YouTube, we are back again this week for another video portion of the Daly Dose Sports Podcast. Hopefully you've been enjoying these videos that we've been putting out every week. I hope that you all are doing well, that you're staying healthy. We are actually going to get the show started right now, so here we go. Wednesday, April 8, 2020, you are listening to the Daly Dose Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Clint Daly, coming to you from the Mile High City right here in Denver, Colorado, and we are back for another week of talking sports with a dose of common sense. Hey, happy Wednesday to you. I hope that your week is off to a strong start. I hope that you and your family and your friends and all the people in your life are staying healthy. We are glad to have you here with us today. Now, I know we haven't been talking much in the way of national days of the year lately with all of the crazy, serious things going on in the world right now. But we need to mention a national day of the year today. And please understand, I'm not making light of it. I'm not making fun of it. But tomorrow, April 9th, is actually National Alcohol Screening Day. Now, every year, National Alcohol Screening Day raises awareness about the harmful effects that alcohol abuse and alcohol dependency can have on a person. By bringing an opportunity for education, referrals, and treatment to those with alcohol dependency issues, screening is a large part of the outreach program. Screening centers are supposed to be located this year, we're not sure, at colleges, military installations, designated businesses, and selected government agencies. Now, like I said, I'm not sure we're going to have a whole lot in the way of alcohol screening this year. But if you are struggling, I hope that you find the help that you need. And there are many, many places that are ready and willing to help you. Having said all of that, this feels like a really, really bad year for National Alcohol Screening Day because we're all in quarantine. We're all locked up. We can't go out. And therefore, we have lost track of everything. I mean, no one knows what day it is. No one knows what month it is. No one knows what time it is. Everything is mixed up. We're working from home. We're homeschooling our kids. We're eating leftover pizza for breakfast and telling our kids, hey, make sure you finish that Pop-Tart before you have your cupcake dessert. But here's the other dangerous aspect of this whole thing. Like I said, we don't know what time it is. So we're drinking things like margarita coffees in the morning with our breakfast. Now, if you don't know what a margarita coffee is, it's exactly like a normal coffee, but you add a margarita to your cup and you hold the coffee. We are out in our yards practicing social distancing, but also holding up signs to cars passing by saying, you honk and we'll drink. We are pouring wine over our cereal in the morning. I mean, we're not deviants. We're not pouring red wine. We're using the white stuff. But still, I feel like we are all drinking quite a bit these days as we deal with all of the weirdness that is going on in the world. And I swear, I'm not trying to make a joke at the expense of National Alcohol Screening Day. I'm just saying that everything else right now in the world, I would go ahead and say that day is probably getting canceled this year because not too many people are passing an alcohol screen right now. Not with the way things stand, not how things are. But if it helps at all, Alcohol Screening Day next year, oh, you're about to get real busy because it just feels like there's going to be a lot of people with maybe some alcohol dependency issues at this time next year. Hey, if you would like to contact the show, maybe tell us how you are living as a functional alcoholic right now. We would love to hear from you. Hit us up on email, dailydosports@gmail.com, or go find us over on Facebook or Twitter. Both of those handles are at Daly Dose Sports. And I told you the last few weeks, I know everyone, like I said, is on quarantine. If you're bored, if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, if you just want to talk, drop us a line. Send us whatever you have. Sometimes it just helps to reach out, to ask a question, maybe state some thoughts you might have. Whatever you have, bring it. Maybe you have some feedback for the show. Maybe you have some feedback for the YouTube edition of the show. Maybe you have a suggestion. Maybe you have some advice. Maybe you need the Daily Dose to get involved in a situation for you. We would love to hear from you, especially, like I said, at this time. Also, we all know we're all doing it. We're all doing the online shopping thing right now. We're ordering our stuff from the grocery stores to be delivered. All those things you're doing online. make sure you stop by tpublic.com and pick up some Daly Dose gear. If you're going to have to be stuck inside anyways, you might as well be sporting some Daly Dose gear as you do. We've got some Daly Dose gear actually hanging up here in the studio that you can see. We do have our standard Daly Dose gear. That's the t-shirt that is hanging up right behind me. We also have our I-Team shirts over there. We've got a couple different styles that you can go with. We have our Daly Dose Faster Than Domestic Violence t-shirts you can get over there. The cool thing about it, you can pick in different colors. You can get a number of different items from sweatshirts to hoodies to t-shirts, a lot of different things. Just go to tpublic.com, search Daly Dose, scroll down until you see our logo, and pick exactly what you need. But there is a ton of stuff at tpublic.com, so make sure that you stop by. Hey, today on the show, we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different because, I mean, what choice do we have? There's not a whole lot going on right now. But today on The Dose, I'm actually going to be joined by a longtime friend of the show, and we are going to be discussing some of the greatest games in the history of sports. Mike from Castle Rock is going to stop by, and we're going to talk about some of the greatest contests in sports history. Going to be getting to that in just a few minutes. Talk about a number of things over there. Now, like I said, remember, we are now placing a video portion of the podcast over on YouTube. So make sure you head over to YouTube and subscribe to the Daly Dose over there. Thanks to everyone who went over there, who has been watching, who has been subscribing to the show. We appreciate that. We're putting up a new video of the show every single week. So make sure that you check that out as well. But let's go ahead and jump into a few stories that are coming out in the world of sports. Hey, LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron has now filed for divorce from his wife of 23 years. This is crazy. I mean, this takes place like just a few weeks after Ed and the LSU Tigers won the national championship in college football. It's a sad story here, but I do have a few questions about this story. First, this wasn't a verbal request by Ed Orgeron, was it? Because, I mean, for all we know, that's not even what he asked for. Did she understand the words that he was saying? I mean, what if Ed Orgeron was saying, hey, honey, we need to get a police force? Or maybe he was saying, hey, honey, I didn't get my main course. Or what if he was saying, hey, honey, we ought to go pick up a rocking horse? And she thought he was saying, hey, honey, we ought to get a divorce. I just hope that this was written down, is what I'm saying. Because it might just be a massive misunderstanding. Second, these two people, Ed Orgeron and his wife, have been married for over 20 years. And it took them what? 2-3 weeks on quarantine to bury that marriage completely? I don't know, that's fast, isn't it? I mean, David Blaine has lived hanging upside down in a bucket of water longer than that lasted once we went on quarantine. So I guess what that is telling me, hey, folks on quarantine, be very careful with your marriage. I hope it's going well with both of you in the house. I hope you're not freaking out. I hope you're not getting mad at your kids. I hope you are living and doing okay. Because as you can see, Ed Orgeron has done a lot of things. He helped LSU. He's worked at USC. He's done a lot of things. He's worked in a lot of tough situations. It took him 2 or 3 weeks, and he had to bail on that marriage. But here's the question that I think is on everyone's mind. Is there any chance whatsoever that Ed Orgeron is on the next season of The Bachelor? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't watch that show. I don't care about that kind of show. I don't watch those reality kind of shows. But if Ed Orgeron's on it, no, I feel like I might tune in. No, I wouldn't be able to understand what he was saying, but it would be awesome, and I would be watching. We need to make this happen. Ed Orgeron needs to be on the next Bachelor. Okay, YouTube, this week on the show, like I said, I'm going to be joined by a longtime friend of the show. We're actually going to be talking about some of the greatest games in the history of sports that we would want to watch again, or maybe even watch for the first time. Hey, we don't have anything else to talk about right now. So go over to wherever it is that you listen to podcasts and download the rest of the show and check it out. We're going to be bringing up a number of games, some of the greatest games of all times that we want to watch while we're stuck inside doing nothing. And if you think we missed a game, if there's a game that you're like, hey, I can't believe you didn't talk about that one, leave us a comment here on YouTube. Let us know. I hope you are staying happy. I hope you all are staying healthy. Hope your marriages are, still intact. And hey, by the way, I've got something really, really good for you next week. You've got to trust me on that. I've got something really good for you next week. You're going to want to tune in for that. Hey, I'll see you all next week. Have a great week.